This is Jennifer.
And this is Anton. And we're from the band Hot Breath. And you're listening to
Rhino Radio.
Subscribe.
Or of Rhino Radio here, and today I have the pleasure of being joined by half of Hot Breath, all the way from Sweden. We are chatting because you're about to release your debut album. Really excited about that. It's called Rubbery. It's going to be out April 9th. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, we're super. It's Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday. We have, after a tough 5 days of hard work, we're looking forward to the weekend. Yeah.
Well, I've been enjoying your album for the last couple of days, and I'm really excited about it going out to the world. But I was wondering, I'm guessing that's not exactly what you expected or hoped for the release of your debut album. Being at lockdown, cannot plan any tours. But what's the best experience that you remember from either the recording or the run-up to the album or writing anything that doesn't matter how lockdown we're going to be, you're still going to say that was a great experience so far?
Ska du vilja ta den? I think the best experience for myself is that for this album we actually really knew each other. When we recorded the EP, we were in the phase of getting to know each other as individuals and as a band. But for this time we really knew each other, and we had like a good amount of time to write the whole body of work, and
try things in the studio.
Yeah. We had a good amount of both work and fun, you know. And there was like no stress involved during the recording session. We had 8 days to record the whole record, but it felt like now, like when we tell people that we recorded the record in 8 days, people are like, "Oh my God, that's so short of time." But it actually wasn't, because we did so much hard work before, and we were so well rehearsed that the 8 days weren't that big of a deal in the amounts of time, you know.
And for yourself, Jennifer?
Sorry?
For yourself, the best experience from the album?
No, like Anton said, that we had a lot of time to try things in the studio. I don't think I've had the time before in other bands to do that. So that was really fun. And also Mattias Nyberg, who recorded the whole album, the producer, was fantastic. He was so calm, and he made the whole experience so nice.
Yeah, he became more of a friend you go to have a beer with than like the dude who is recording the album. So,
and if I'm mistaken, the band kind of started over beers. So I was wondering, since you're also having wine as we're talking right now, what else except for the band was inspired by beers for the band, either in your personal life or music or videos? What else started because you had either a beer or maybe a few too many?
I think all bands ever started with people having beers. And I think more bands were created during the time people were drinking beer. And the majority of those bands never got to their first rehearsal, you know. It's always like a thing when you're drunk and like, yeah, we should start a band, you know. But
our beer was like in the
we had 4 beers and then we had the first rehearsal. So, but
and it was not so late in the evening.
No, it was
like after work.
Yeah, it was after work. But other than for us drinking wine right now and having a beer before we created the band, like we have this thing, you know, we don't want, like, we're not the big drinkers. I think we enjoy drinking, but we're not like like we try to, like when we do the videos, I think we don't have any video of us drinking beer. It's like there are enough bands like doing videos drinking beers, and we enjoy drinking. We just don't enjoy showing it too much.
So your crazy videos of having fun in either bowling alleys and exchanging mustaches and everything, that was without any beer?
was a lot of
energy drinks.
a lot of
and coffee.
A lot of coffee, energy drinks. Of course, I think the whole bunch of us has. We have played in bands before, and we have like experienced the whole, kid in a candy shop. When you go on tour for the first time, and you come to a venue and there is free beer, and it's like, oh my god, I have to drink all the beer. Like you get over that thing, and then it's like you come to a venue, it's like, yeah, there's free beer, but maybe I'm not gonna be hungover tomorrow. You know? So there's always like when you play in a band for a while, sometimes you discover that you don't have to be super wasted all the time, and when you get super wasted, it's awesome because you haven't been super wasted for maybe the past 4 gigs. Instead of being wasted for all the gigs.
And I know that you've probably talked about your influences and inspiration so many times, but I want to touch on something that kind of like where your music came from. You guys are from Sweden, and for a lot of people, Sweden is the home of ABBA and Ace of Base, or for others, it's the home of In Flames and Meshuggah. So I was wondering, when you think of music and home, what comes to mind?
Oh. I would say like all the bands you mentioned now, I wouldn't put myself in any of the categories. Like I really like, I know me and Jennifer and the others as well really enjoy ABBA. But at the same time, like I'm a big fan of like all like Europe. I'm a big fan of Bathory, and it's all Swedish bands. And Tribulation, yeah. Like I think what I think of Sweden as and home and music, like those 3 things together, I would say a great touch in making music, like how to make interesting music. I think a lot of countries do a lot of good music, but I think Sweden is like leading in making interesting music. And it's not always been like that. If you look at the 80s, like of course English bands and American bands were like doing interesting stuff, and Swedish bands were maybe doing interesting stuff, of course. But nowadays, I think we are in this country, people are very talented in choosing interesting pieces to put in music.
And I want to confront you with a rumor. I know that both of you, it's not the first band that you were in. So there's a rumor that young Jennifer was anti-Love in her first band. Were you hating on Love as a kid?
Sorry, what was the question?
I want to know that.
I heard that one of your first bands, you were anti-Love, a very anti-romantic person as a kid.
Yeah, I guess because I wanted to like not write about love because it was I don't know, I think it was like I didn't want me as a female write about love because that would be like cliche in some way. I don't know why, because now we write about love in so many ways. But I think when I was younger, it was so much more to write cool songs, not about love. It should be about, I don't know, swords and dragons. No, not like that, but
you just copied Dio.
Yeah,
somehow, yeah.
So it is almost true that you evolved. Yeah. Were you about 10 with the first songs?
Sorry?
Were you about 10 years old when you started writing songs?
Yeah, I think my first song was called I Want to Be a Superstar.
And it all came true.
Yeah.
So on that positive note, I actually want to take you somewhere a bit darker. Obviously, a lot of musicians and the world in general was getting a bit dark and negative over Corona. Our life got twisted upside down, and we weren't sure what's going to happen next. Was there ever a time that you thought that music, or even specifically live music, is not going to come back?
No, I don't think.
I think it goes in. You have your like periods when you feel like shit, And when you're having a rough day, like if you're having a rough day at work, it immediately sets off other thoughts that everything sucks. And you read the news, and the news says like the vaccine is late, there are more people getting sick, and blah blah blah. The restrictions are gonna be going on forever. And then you have this in the back of your head, and then you immediately think like, okay, I'm gonna be 40 the next time I go to Berlin and play on a stage. But then again, like the day after, you can, I don't know, you can talk to somebody and be very positive. You can talk to another person in another band, and you can like talk about good memories, and then you start thinking about, I'm longing for the next live show, and then it's not that horrible. I think it depends on what kind of day you have, but yeah, we had to cancel. Like we had a Swedish Scandinavian tour planned before Corona hit that we were looking forward to very much, and when we had to cancel that, like you get very negative towards everything.
Especially since we're kind of new band, and that we didn't have the chance to
show off.
But do the shows we wanted to. And with our EP, we did like
I think we did
10 shows.
10 shows,
or something, and then it was shut down. So
yeah.
So what helped you stay positive when you had those dark moments when you weren't sure whether about the music or anything else?
I think it's a combination of the music and each other. Like we're 4 people, and we don't feel happy at the same time. So if like 2 of us feels like shit, the other 2 try to like even it out and try to be positive to each other. Because like nowadays, the only people, at least I hang out with, is Hot Breath. Because you shouldn't hang out with a lot of people. So the only people I do hang out with, except for the people I work with, is the band I play in.
Yeah.
So we try to stay positive. And when somebody feels like shit, it's very important to bring that person back up. And and of course, like writing this album and recording it was a big positive movement. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Guys, thank you very much for sharing that. And I am certain that the new album, Rubbery Lips, is going to cheer up a lot of people. It already made my week and introduced me to some new friends on bikes that kind of look like mice. So I've enjoyed that as well. I want to touch a little bit on cooking. I know that a lot of people went into cooking and baking during Corona. I was wondering, I know that you like cooking as well a little bit. I was wondering, what's your biggest cooking disaster during the last year? Something that you really hope that's going to happen and was not exactly as that TikTok video introduced us.
Oh, you should have had Jimmy, our drummer, should be in this video.
Yeah.
He is the most like TikTok friendly guy ever.
Yeah.
He actually told us about this pasta he made.
No, it wasn't with Carl.
No, it was Carl. Yeah, it was Carl, but it wasn't a disaster.
No.
He achieved it.
Yeah.
But you asked the past year.
Or in general, if you have something from way back.
In general, I tried boiling rice once.
And then it never happened.
I've only boiled rice once in my life. It totally fucking sucked. So I'm never boiling rice again. Like I was gonna boil rice for me and my friend I lived together with when I was like 21. And I boiled rice for the whole fucking street. It was like rice everywhere. So I'm never boiling rice again. So that's the biggest disaster of cooking I've done. Yeah.
It sounds amazing, though. I really want to have rice right now.
Yeah.
Just because of that.
You're not getting it from me, so you can cook your own rice.
One last question before we say goodbye. I've looked at your promo pictures, and I saw some bowling pictures and also some kind of disco balls. I was wondering if you guys are any good at bowling.
I'm not so good at it. I just think it's super fun.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
No, I don't think. I think every time I played bowling, it's like 50% being good, and no, it's like 10% being good 90% pure luck, but you never tell anybody that it's luck. It's like, yeah, I totally knew that would be a strike. But we're pretty good at disco though. Not dancing perhaps. Maybe, I don't know about you.
No.
I could probably. You're probably looking at the two best dancers in Hot Breath right now. So yeah, we're pretty good at disco. Yeah.
Do you actually own a good pair of disco platform shoes?
Ooh, not yet.
But I own 15 disco balls.
Oh yeah, he does.
That's
actually.
I like during Corona.
Big ones.
I have been a big consumer on eBay.
Yep.
And I was actually home at my apartment, and I had like maybe too many beers for myself, and I started scouting eBay, and I saw that this disco ball was for sale, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm buying this!" And I bought it, and then I got this little note in my post box, and I looked at it. It's like, "Yeah, you got a package to get." When I walked down to the little supermarket thing and I brought out my package, and this big box comes into and I was like, what have I ordered? You know, it's like Christmas. And I opened it up and it was like 15 big balls, disco balls. So yeah, if you want a disco ball, just text me your address and I will send you one. Yeah?
Is it part of the deluxe edition of the album?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it should be.
The 15
first
buy the album.
gets a signed disco ball from eBay. You know?
Hey, Jennifer and Anton, as I said, I've enjoyed the album Rubbery Lips so much over the last couple of days, and I'm really excited for the world to enjoy it with me from April 9th. I'm guessing we cannot talk about tour or anything at the moment that will actually help us meet, but is there anything else you want to add to fans and listeners before we say goodbye?
Yeah, like the usual stuff. Pre-order our album, you know, follow us on social media. No, but hang in there, and we will and keep on
rocking.
Keep on rocking in the free. No, but keep on keeping your fingers crossed for live shows to be back on the menu in no time, hopefully. Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you and being offered to buy disco balls. So, thank you very much.
I'll save one for you. Yeah, no problem.
Subscribe. Subscribe.